This is, exclusively designed for you and anyone else who comes late. So thanks for joining us, Lydia. I'm Kutso, and I'll be, mainly hosting. My other half is Etienne. We are the Phil-Yuns, in case you haven't figured. He's my partner in crime and life partner as well. Okay. So Etienne, whom I used to call him Boki, so you'll have to bear with us, Lydia. We'll keep it very friendly.
No, that's fine.
Why don't you introduce yourself and let Lydia know what you do. I'll introduce myself, and then Lydia will introduce herself and let us know what she's hoping to get out of this.
Yes, my name's Etienne, and I am practicing labor law, corporate law, labor law. I do most of my work in labor law, and I've been doing so for the last 25 years. I have a background in both law as well as in industrial psychology. So I have a multidisciplinary approach to the practice, and that's in a nutshell.
Okay. Cool. And Lydia, I'm Kutso. I run my own digital marketing agency. I haven't always done that. I've had, various other careers. I was an international economist. I've done all sorts of things, but I moved into the digital marketing space because I just realized, well, I desperately needed a career change, but I also realized, that's where everything is going. Everything is going digital. So I started off running my own online business for a while until I decided, okay, this is not intuitive. So I went and got thorough training in digital marketing.
Okay.
So what I'm hoping to share with you and anyone else who's going to watch this, are just some tips that I've picked up along the way. And especially as somebody, now I've learned how to do these things, but they're not very intuitive. So I'm hoping to be able to break it down, at least a few tips, make it digestible, things that people would be able to use hands-on. Yeah. And Lydia, over to you. We can see your beautiful picture, but we can't see you.
No. I'm not decent enough to be seen. My pictures are
No problem. No, that's okay. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're hoping we can cover for you in this session?
All right. I was previously working for an insurance company. I was the underwriting manager.
Okay.
Recently put on early retirement. And I started up my own company selling CBD oils. And I also do essential oils for different applications, as well as now I've taken into selling toners and cartridges to make a little bit more income because I haven't been able to really kick off my other products. Have had a few sales, but nothing major. And although my husband's a sales manager, I seem to be lacking a little bit of sales skills. And when I saw your webinar, I thought, well, maybe this will give me a little bit of a background and also to market my product better and that sort of thing. So I thought it would be an ideal opportunity to learn a little bit.
Okay, great. And you didn't have any specific hang-ups over level 3 lockdown, legal, this and that, because you're not running a physical shop, are you?
No, I'm not running a physical shop, although a lot of my stuff was by interaction with people and showing them the product, going to markets and stuff like that, which I can't do anymore.
Right.
So got to find another way of doing this. Because I don't know how much longer we're not going to be able to go to flea markets and stuff like that. So I need to have some form of income, and I need to find out a better way of doing stuff.
Right. No, I hear you. Okay, great. So, well, hopefully we'll be able to touch a little bit on e-commerce, though that's not my, big area. And see what else, ask lots of questions. You're here, right? see if there's any way we can help, right? Okay, great. So you are here for the session. Of course, lockdown stole your sales, all our sales, right? So we're all trying to find a way to fight back. That's the title of our webinar. So I thought I'd start with the digital marketing tools, a couple of areas, and then Etienne will then cover the legal ramifications, because we all feel something like this. Don't know about you. You feel a bit gagged, you're not sure what to say, where to say it, feeling frustrated, in the dark. This whole COVID environment is, yes, when I found this photo, I thought this pretty much explains how I feel. And yeah, I'm hoping other people are feeling, I suspect a few other people are feeling that way. We're operating in the dark, not sure where we're going, and quite pissed as well.
Yes.
So excuse my French.
No.
So that also is how I pretty much feel, and I suspect if being in the social community, a lot of business owners are feeling the same way. So now let's talk about how we move, let's say, your essential oils business from flea markets, as you were saying, and trying to put it more in the digital space. Obviously, there are just so many different platforms, right? You can build an e-commerce store where people would work pretty much like Take-A-Lot. They'd order them online and you would ship them to them. That way, you don't have any lockdown issues to worry about. And it's more like it, you really need to have a presence on the digital space, right? So if you're anything like me, until I went through rigorous training, I was thinking, oh gosh, do I do Facebook? Do I do Instagram? Do I do Pinterest? Do I do, LinkedIn? And, there are all these platforms that are really driving us all crazy, right? And it just seems like it's never going to end. What are the options? Where do you even begin? Also keeping in mind that not all of that translates into business, right? You can have 1 million likes on Facebook or on Pinterest or wherever, but all of that doesn't necessarily translate into sales. So what I'm hoping to share with you very briefly are things that I know do translate into sales. Yeah. And of course, everybody has their own taste, but my area of specialty is client acquisition. I help people acquire their ideal clients using digital marketing tools. Yeah. So for me, the objective is getting clients. It's not so much just to get your exposure out there, it's to push your product. Yeah. So in a case such as yours, and this is the case for everybody, I would say, in this day and age. Yeah, we know brick and mortar is very insufficient at this point. The lockdown has really thrown us a curveball. I see Annalise is trying to get in. I just am letting her in. So yeah, the starting point is, how do I begin to go digital, really? Sorry, I'm a little distracted because I just let Annalise in. I just want to.
No,
oh, there she is. All right. Hi, Annalise. She's still connecting. Okay. So, yeah, I would say, the problem lies around, I would approach the problem, just let's think about where your clients are. Yeah, right now and going forward, we know your clients will be online. Obviously, you want to digitize to some extent. Yes.
Yeah.
And so if you have products like yours, are you familiar with e-commerce at all, Lydia?
No, I'm not.
No. Okay. There are platforms like Shopify, yeah, where you are.
Or is that
sorry, go ahead.
Something like on Facebook? I know I belong to what would be their like little business thing where you can upload your business and you can put on videos and
it's
like that. So it's not like that. Okay.
No. Totally out of social media. This is where you take your shop. You really have a shop online. Have you seen how Take-A-Lot works? Do you know what? Yes. It would be something like that, but on a much smaller scale. Yeah. Okay. You load your products online and people are able to buy them directly from you and you ship them to them.
That sounds good.
Yeah, so that's pretty, Shopify is pretty straightforward. I mean, I was able to learn it in just a few days, really. So I would Google that, although people who know e-commerce world say they don't recommend Shopify because it's a little bit more pricey, but it's very easy. If you're working on a low budget, it's easy to implement, really.
Okay.
And they have very good customer support as well in case you get stuck and all of that. Yeah. So you want to look at something like Shopify or its alternatives. That's what's going to get you started. Yeah, you'll be able to load your products, price them, describe them, and people will be able to just buy them online. Yeah. Now that's one thing, right? Because we know your clients, well, everybody's clients are online right now, right? What can we say? Annalise, hi, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hi, welcome. You didn't
Thank
miss.
you.
Yeah, you haven't missed a whole lot yet. We really just got started.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we were just talking about the extent to which at this point a person might be able to digitize. Yeah. So we've got Lydia, for instance. She's running. She sells essential oils. I was just sharing with her one way to go would be to have an e-commerce store, and outlets like Shopify would be the way to go. Annalise, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and what you're hoping to get out of this session quickly.
I have got a business that I started last year. Instead of going on to retirement, I started a MTB coffee. I'm a mountain biker. So coffee and cycling and sport goes hand in hand. So I started MTB coffee. Mainly I'm a supplier. I'm the middleman. So I have a roaster that manufactures or produces the coffee for me, and I sell to businesses, events, the sporting trade, and I rebrand. So anybody who's got a business and they want to hand out gifts, that kind of thing, I rebrand the coffee so you can have your own brand. You can have the full Yun brand.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
So I've got a website. I did want to go the e-commerce way. Initially, it was also too pricey. The banks charge quite a bit in handling fees.
Sure.
So it's Facebook, Instagram, Messenger marketing at this stage, and on the website you can click and then either DM or email me your info.
Okay. Great. So you veered away from that e-commerce thing because you found it to be a little too pricey.
Yes, for me specifically, I mean, it works. I've used it. I've bought, products from the Shopify setup.
Yeah.
For me, if your products that you're selling, if the prices are fairly low, costs doesn't warrant to go onto Shopify. So if you're selling a product equivalent to say 500 or 600 Rand, you can offset the costs. If you're selling a product that's only about 80 Rand, you can't offset those costs.
Gotcha. Yeah. Now that's helpful for Lydia to know, right? Because we just talked about her possibly going in that direction. Yeah. Great. Yeah. And
maybe for her is to actually join all the possible Facebook groups, community groups, because you can advertise for free. And just share your posts like crazy on those platforms.
Great. Yes, and I'm also going to share with you some other things you can do on Facebook as well.
Fantastic.
So that's a great idea, Annalise. And did you have any specific questions with regards to lockdown issues? No? Legal?
Besides pulling our hair out and we can't go anywhere.
Well, Annalise, let me tell you missed this.
Exactly.
Can you see that?
No, I did join onto a small business group. We're about 200 of us on a WhatsApp group. So it helped a lot in keeping everybody sane and just tips and that kind of thing. But you know what? You can't be a salmon and go upstream. You've just got to flow with the wave at the moment.
Right. Okay, great. I'm looking at the time. I'm really the talker. I'm left with 9 minutes for my section. Go figure. All right, let me get on with it. But you guys, feel free to interrupt me, in case I'm not making sense and moving too fast. Now, what I find helps, we talked about e-commerce. Now I'm going to talk to you about the alternative, which is more the mainstream stuff, what you do with the Facebooks and Instagrams and such, I have to admit, I don't do work at all on anything other than Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Google. So I'm going to share with you some quick tips on especially the Facebook part. And Annalise, I really I think you hit it on the, what is it, nail on the head with the free advertising. I mean, if you joining groups is very helpful. But what I find are the 3 things that will really get you clients rather than you're just advertising blindly out there. Is you need to have a mechanism to track your prospects online. You guys have do you guys have website? You do have websites, yes?
No. Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. So what I'd say is what you do need to make sure you have is a tracking device. It's called a pixel. Google has it as well. Facebook has a thing called a pixel, and I'll show you a little bit what that means. I'll expound on that in a few seconds. You also need to have a mechanism to capture your contact details of your leads, of your prospective clients. Because a person comes and buys, they go away, you never hear from them again. But they are a minefield. I mean, if you were able to stay in touch with them, you can really nurture them into repeat sales and into the long term. And number 3, you need to find a way to actually follow up. As I said, it relates to number 2. Don't let somebody just buy and then go away. You have no idea who they are, and you don't know if you're ever going to do anything with them. And most importantly, do follow up with them. Find a way to do that. That increases your ability to not only continue to nurture them into repeat sales, but they get to know you, they get to trust you, and they get to like you. And research shows us that, people buy from people, and they buy from people they like, right? So you really do want to have a relationship with them on some level. Some people do that through WhatsApp grouping. Some people do that through emailing and whatnot. Let me expound on my first step. Remember I said 3 things you must do if you're going to get clients through digital space, in the digital space. Number 1, the tracking. I mentioned a tracking device. This is something that you'd be able to get from Facebook, Google, Facebook Pixel, or how to install a Facebook Pixel. A Facebook Pixel is a code that you can put on your website. And what that does, it tracks your leads. If somebody comes to your website, Facebook takes note of them, and when you do advertise, let's say you do run an ad at some point, they will find that person and remarket to them. Let me give you an example. I got this from a friend of mine. I don't know how well you can see. Can you see this is a real post. I got it yesterday. A good friend of mine, she says, she just posted, "Wow, I swear Google Home is listening to my sneezing, and voila, I start getting allergy meds ads." It took just one comment from Eben about how red my eyes are from the allergies. Scary. What my friend was saying is, I very innocently said something. She has Google Home. It's this device that you can talk into, like Sarah? That you can just innocently just say, "Google Home, find me something." Or more relevantly, and I'm sure this has happened to you, you go to, you see an ad or you see something, you click on it, and you even forget, you read about it, and then, for days on end, all you see are ads relating to whatever you clicked on. Has that happened to you?
Oh, yeah.
Or then you start getting all these emails about the one thing that you clicked on, right? So, I like to say, I was going to demonstrate this, but I realized it's only, I gave myself 30 minutes to speak, but I was going to demonstrate to you. If you go to like a site like Pick and Pay, any of these major stores that have a pixel on, a tracker on, you go to the website, you don't even buy, you just go there and you look. And then, you know, forget about it. When you go to Facebook, come back and tell me, you will find an ad from Pick and Pay. You will. That's because of the tracker. Yeah, what that allows you to do is you're able to track your clients. Yeah, they saw your ad, or not ad, they saw your website or whatever you did, right? And Facebook and Google, if you put the Google tracker, they're able to track them so that when you do run an ad, they'll find those people and remarket to them. Make sense? Yeah. Yeah, that's part of the magic. So you do want that pixel. When you have a website, make sure it's installed on there. The second tip I have is I said make sure you capture your leads, right? People who buy from you. Yeah. So this can be two ways. People can come into your store, or people, you guys, I mean, all of us are kind of working virtually right now, but whoever buys from you, find a way to capture their contact details. Yeah, you can have, if it's in store, make sure they leave their contact number and an email, especially because you need to have step number 3, that follow-up mechanism, right? Or the easier way, slightly more expensive. I mean, what I mentioned in one, you can do, it's free, right? What I mentioned so far with lead capture is free. And a funnel, you would have to be investing in something that looks like this. This is a funnel. A funnel is not exactly this in digital marketing language. Yes, a funnel is this. It looks like a website. So Lydia, you said you don't have a website yet. Yes?
No.
I would not necessarily be anxious if I didn't have a website, but I'd be anxious if I didn't have a funnel. And there's a reason for that. Yeah. A funnel looks very much like a website, as you can see. Yeah. But the objective of a funnel is to promote a specific product or service. Yeah. And to capture people's contact details. Make sense? Yeah. So in this funnel here, this person is advertising, you know, a facial. Yeah, 40% off on a facial. It's a spa. Obviously, they don't sell only facials. They sell a whole lot of other products, services as well. You know, there's massages, there's this, there's that. Yeah. But a funnel is tailor-made to convert. And when I say convert, I mean you get people's contact details and you're able to call them up. Yeah. And say you said you were interested in the facial, right? And you're also, in the same token, able to stay in touch with them either through email marketing or you send them WhatsApp messages. Yeah, the conversion really happens when you're able to call people up. Yeah, they didn't just see your ad and they disappeared. Yeah, now you're able to follow them up and make sure that, you know, see how serious they are, right, about purchasing whatever it is. Yeah. So statistics show us that, you know, funnels convert a good up to 10 to 20 times more than a website. And that's because a website is like your catalog. Really, all it shows you is all your products and services. But people can just look at it and go away. Yeah, and same with the funnel. People can just go to your funnel and go away. But if they're really serious and you're offering something they want, like a special, they're gonna leave you their contact details. Right? And that's how you're able to make sales. Is that making sense so far, guys? Yeah? Okay, great. Yes. And then in terms of the follow-up, as I said earlier, the objective is really relationship building here. You know, your people get to know you, trust you, and like you, especially if you're starting out. Well, actually, even if you're well established, right? When people have so much choice out there in these days, they really just want to stick with what they know and people they trust. And it also gives you the opportunity to upsell people. By that, I mean, remember in this funnel here, let's say as an example, yeah, you said you were focused on one product or one service. Now, through your follow-ups, the WhatsApp messages you do, whatever, you're able to say, hey, I don't just offer facials. I offer this and this and this and that. And guess what? If you come in for facials for the next 6 months, you get 20% off if you're able to buy a package. That's upselling. Yeah, so you're able to get more long-term commitments that way. And cross-selling is really exposing people to your wider offerings. Yeah, so they're not stuck with the one product or service you were promoting. Okay, I already touched on this. People use, WhatsApp messages, text messaging. There are all sorts of devices out there that allows people to keep their clients engaged. You can do specials when you're offering a special. You WhatsApp people, email people, hey, I'm doing this special, come over. You can have people's birthday parties or anniversaries. Hey, for your birthday, we're offering you this, and that, right? That way, the objective here is, to really embed yourself in people's minds so that they really get to know you. When they think, hey, I need essential oils, they think Lydia, right? Because your names become a lot more household for them, more familiar. Yeah. So there's the WhatsApp texting that I see a lot of businesses do. There's also email marketing. You will know what spam is. You've experienced it. So there's a way to do email marketing without spamming people, right? You space them out in a really nice sort of way so that people are not feeling overwhelmed. Yeah, but the objective is the same. You would be doing upselling and cross-selling as well. Okay. So I am just about done. The 2 don'ts I would advise. Again, don't go for likes, go for sales. Yeah, don't kill yourself if but you do have to have an online presence though. You do have to have a Facebook page for a start. Everybody on earth is on Facebook, if nothing else. Especially people who can buy. Kids don't have money. Teenagers don't have really money yet. Right? So if they're on Pinterest or whatever, Shaka, whatever, fine, great. But if you know where your client, but again, maybe your products are more for those sort of demographics. You just have to know where your clients are. If you have products for, young kids, if you think they're the ones who have money, that's where you want to have some kind of presence. Yeah. If it's a page, open a Pinterest account or whatever. I keep saying Pinterest is because I've been wanting to really get into Pinterest. So know where your people are, but don't be swayed by likes. Yeah, popularity contests don't give you money. Yeah. Do things that follow these 3 things. Make sure you have somebody's contact details. Make sure you capture them. Well, have a tracker, right? Make sure you can effectively find them when you need them to. Get their contact details and follow up. Yeah. And then you guys are probably familiar with this. Hold on, how do I do this? You've probably seen this around, haven't you? On Facebook. I'm on my Facebook page now, my agency page. Does this look familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah, where it says boost post. Yes. Have you guys boosted posts before?
No. I haven't used it.
No? Okay. Yeah, well, this is a very light way of trying to, Facebook, this is like a digital marketing light. Yes. Okay. So if you, but you, Lydia, Annalise, you both have Facebook business pages, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So if you've posted on your page, you've probably, as you've both said, you've seen this little button here, yeah? A lot of people, when they say I advertise on Facebook, they mean they really just click on this little thing here. What I wanted to share with you is, yes, if that's the way you're gonna do it, I wanna point out a couple of pointers for you to make sure that you get the best bang for your buck. Yeah. So Facebook, and be aware, Facebook will always be trying to get you to boost your posts because that's how they make money, right? Yes. So they'll ask you, for your budget and whatnot. The important part is here that you definitely do not want to boost your post without, yeah, where it says audience, right? So this is telling Facebook who you want them to show your post to, right? This is, you see, if you click on, where is edit? Audience.
Top
edit.
left.
Yes, there we go. All right, you can see you can really pretty much sort. You can target whomever you want Facebook to show your post. It can be men only, women only, age-wise, pick your age, location. You can even put in your physical address in here and say within a 30-kilometer radius of it. And most importantly, you can do, where did that go? You can sort by, hold on. There we go. Well, ignore this part. Not so much people will like you. Where is it? It's detailed targeting. Oh, I saw it this morning again. Where did that go? Okay, people you choose through targeting. That got stuck over there. And I think my other half decided he's gonna vanish since I'm getting carried away with with what I love to do. Okay, where did it go? Come on now.
I am here. I just lost my video connection.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I cannot believe this. It worked. I saw it this morning.
Is a boost much different from an ad? When you obviously also choose your demographics, etc. for an ad, because I'm about to run some ads.
Yes, yes, yeah. You would know what I'm talking about then.
Yeah.
Yes, it is different because a boost, you actually want to avoid boosting. That's the bottom line, because it doesn't give you as wide
An audience,
an audience in terms of what you can target. All right, never mind.
And what is your take on advertising on Messenger?
Usually I find Facebook pushes that for you. One of the options Facebook has is to do that as well. You can have Facebook advertise for you on Messenger. It's just a click. I mean, Facebook comes with it. The options with Facebook are Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger together.
Yeah.
So you can always click that. Anyway, I can't find it here. Sorry, guys. But maybe I should let my other half get started with what he needs to say if you guys have questions, and I can get into a more targeted, into a different into a segment that I really want to show you. Would that make sense?
Well,
yep.
Yeah? Okay. Because I've already stolen some of his time. While I'm doing that, did you guys have questions about any of this? No? And I promise I'm going to show you the targeting before I go. Because that is the key. And I think, was it you, Annalise, Lydia, who asked about advertising? So you're familiar with it already. So bottom line, sorry, go ahead.
Yes. I'm going to, my first ads will run next week.
Okay.
So targeting Father's Day. So I just wanted to know if because the principles are a little bit similar between a boost and advertising. So I just wanted to know which.
Yeah, definitely stay away. Don't boost. Okay. Like I said, if you know how to advertise properly, don't boost. Definitely not. Yeah, I had usually I would say to people who boost, I'd say stop boosting. But I noticed this morning that Facebook has actually expanded its targeting for boosting as well.
Okay.
So yeah, stay away from boosting. But if you don't know where to begin and you don't have a budget to pay somebody to do it for you, I'd say boost, but target within boosting.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to share with you
All
guys.
Right. Thanks.
All right. Okay. Well, my other half, Etienne, whom I like to call Bookie, why don't you take it away? You guys, you can.
Can you guys see me again or not?
Let me get out of screen share so that we can see you properly. There we go. Okay.
Can you see me, because I can't see myself?
Yeah, I can see you.
I'll see you now.
I've got a problem with my camera on settings, so I need to fix that. That's why my face is not.
No problem. I usually work in pajamas and nobody knows.
I had a meeting yesterday as well, and I did something wrong.
Yeah, no problem at all. We understand Sunday morning work from home, so gotta do what we gotta do. All right.
Good. Okay. Can I talk, Bookie?
Yeah, over to you.
Okay, great. Good. Good to have the, I think the more palatable or easier or exciting part of this presentation. What I'm talking about is the legal matters. And legal matters are normally more the dreary part. You know, you do it not because it's exciting, but because you must, you're forced. It's kind of like COVID. It's forced onto you and you comply begrudgingly. So, and that's the part that I deal with. I do not want to go into too much detail because if you have been involved with COVID up until now and all the publications that have been published, you'll realize that since around about the 23rd of March, there's been an avalanche of publications, not specifically in South Africa, but also across the globe. So what I want to focus in, I want to be very practical with regards to this thing. I want to divide it into two short sessions. The first session is how do I get my employees back to work? And then the second section is when they are back at work, what are the things that I need to look at? So you would think, let's start with the first session. You would think that everybody likes to go to work or everybody wants to go to work. Not so. If it was like that, probably I would have had less work. Not probably, definitely. Because there are employees that just stay away from work. There are employees who desert. So if you are involved with law and labor law and employment law, you will realize that there must be employees, unions, and employers, and you must have contact details, telephone numbers, and postal addresses to reach out to these people, to contact them, and to tell them when they must get back to work. So if you go out and you make contact, there are a few things that's important in the contact. So let's just look at the way that you can make contact with the employees is either with WhatsApp or SMSs, emails, or even letters that you can send them to their registered address. So obviously, you need to have those details available. So one of the first places that you need to start is make sure that you have a list of employees, make sure that you have a list of contact details, and it's good if you can to assign that to somebody who deals with it. And then the content of the communication, what should that be around? It should be around when you intend to open business. It should also indicate who must report for duty. And then it must say when these people must report for duty. Should they report for duty on the same day that you open, or should they come 2 or 3 days earlier to get the premises ready for business? And then you should try to track your communication to see whether they received it. Maybe follow up with a telephone call. If you have a union involved, reach out to the union and say, listen, I've send this and this person a letter, or you can even just send a letter to the union to say, this is when we're going to open again. Please communicate that to your member in addition to what we have done. So those are some ideas that I can indicate. Just with regards to the communication, be clear, be concise, and try to ensure that they receive it. And then the reason for that is if somebody does not come, you might have to follow up with them. You might even have to terminate somebody's employment later on for deserting. And then you might have to prove that you have communicated with this person, what you have communicated, when you've communicated it, and whether your communication was clear. So that's why it's important to have records. I often say to employers and companies that we deal with, it's not as important what happened. That's not the essence of it. What's important when you have a dispute is how much can you prove with regards to what happened. So when you can prove something, that becomes valuable in a dispute situation. So just making sure then, so that is getting people back at work. All right. So let's step over to the next situation, making sure that they are safe when they are at work. When we make sure that they are safe, first of all, we need to look at a few things, a framework, if you like, maybe a contract of employment or a collective agreement. Just see what kind of rights that enables you to take. Does it give you guidelines on absconding, on absenteeism, on desertion, guidelines on insubordination or disobedience if somebody refuses to return to work? And also, what I find is that when companies open, they are not as busy as they would like to be, because it takes time for the business to pick up again. Also, you know, everybody's not back at work yet, so the business is a bit slow. Cash flow is a bit down, so you might not need everybody at work. So what are your rights in terms of short time? Just to define some of these terms, insubordination or disobedience is, for instance, when you tell somebody to come back to work and they refuse to, or they neglect to. But from an insubordination point of view, it's more like these people do not want to get back to work. They know they must, but they don't. I know that the Minister of Labour has indicated that employees are entitled to stay at home if they really want to. That's not in the regulations. That's his personal opinion. And the current minister, if I look at his background, he was a teacher and a union organizer, so I'll forgive him to say something like that. But in my opinion, if an employee doesn't come back to work, that's misconduct. He can lose his job for that. And an employee has a obligation to be loyal towards his employer and to be loyal towards the business. And the business has an obligation towards the community, and the business has lots of responsibilities in order in terms of compliance. And then if I just speak a little bit of short times, short time is when you have a business and you're not as busy. Instead of needing, say for instance, 10 employees is your normal employee complement, but you only need 5 employees every day. So then you'll have a kind of a rotation system, which you'll implement as fairly as possible, possibly, and then everybody will just get paid for the number of hours that they work. For the rest of the hours, you will then claim UIF TERS, as long as that's available, and UIF after that. Good. So then, any questions up until now before I go to preparing the workplace?
Etienne, when does, if you've notified the employees to come back to work, etc., and they don't comply, they don't come back, when does that absconding fall into place? Because I think under normal circumstances, this was like always about 5 or 6 days. If they don't return, then you take it as they've absconded. When does that kick in now?
Is it Annalise asking the question?
Yes.
Annalise, thank you for asking that question. It's a good question. There's normally when you will realize that I spoke about the collective agreements and contracts of employment.
Yeah.
Normally, absconding is described in one of those documents. There is a case between Glencore and one of their employees, Glencore Mining. What happened in that particular case, this guy had a traditional ritual that he wanted to, one of those cultural rituals that he wanted to
Yeah.
attend. He asked permission to go, and permission was refused. Then he went in anyway, and submitted medical certificates because he tried to get around the refusal. When the medical certificates was for the exact same period. When he returned, the employer said, you know what, medical certificates are hearsay evidence. The doctor's not here to verify that. Besides that, we question it that um, these are that you were really sick. And if the doctor can't verify that, we're not going to honor the medical certificates. Our policy, and they had a written policy, and this is where your question comes in. Our policy is that that you must, you know, provide proper proof for a period longer than 7 days. And
Yeah.
that was their policy, 7 days in that regard. And that was in writing in their personnel policy. This guy was away for more than that. They then had a disciplinary inquiry. They disregarded the medical certificates and they dismissed it. To make a long story short, the CCMA commissioner found against them. I think the Labour court found against them, but the Labour appeal court found in their favour, and they found that you know, the employee tried to manipulate the situation in order to achieve the cultural activity. So if you want to rely on the doctrine of desertion or absconsion, you'll have to have a personnel policy, because also in that ruling, the Labour appeal court indicated that the policy of the employer is controlling in that particular type of dispute. So whatever your policy says, your agreement with your employees, that is what the court will use in order to make a determination whether you have acted in a fair manner or not. So first of all, your policy. Secondly, how you communicated the policy and communicated the standards in the course of the incident.
And will that apply as well if I have, say, a rep who works on a contract basis, a commission basis only? And I've got a contract, a written contract between myself and salesman.
If you the fundamental question there would be, is that person an employee or are they like a freelance rep? And section 73A of the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, I think, if I recall correctly, deals with the definition of an employee, and it sets out certain guidelines. Basically, whether you can control the person or not. If you want to, you can. I could send you those guidelines, and you can see whether that person's actually an employee or not.
Have a look at it.
Yes, yes.
Thanks.
So I'll send it. Yes, I'll get the contact details from Kutz, and I'll just forward you the relevant section of the act.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Annalise. Anything else? Any other questions that you may have in that regard?
I'm sorted, thanks.
Good. Lydia, anything from you?
I don't have anybody in my employ. I can't hire myself.
I'm thinking future.
Well, you know, that's a modern business. Many people wish that they could run a business like that, and I tell you, that's ideal. So, yeah. Okay, let's go on into preparing a workplace. Just if you want to prepare a workplace, the things that are important are sanitation and disinfectant, facial masks, social distancing. Those are the three pillars basically that we can use if we talk about non-surgical interventions or trying to manage and prevent this COVID, because that's what the people who specialize in virus and disease control advise us to do. So with regards to sanitizing and disinfectant, you should sanitize or disinfect the workplaces. And then also make sure that there's enough backup stock with regards to sanitizer. There are also sanitizing companies. We have a specific company that we deal with. They use very advanced technology, which they have the sole rights to in South Africa. They have electrostatic sprayers, and the benefit of that is that the chemicals does not only go onto the surface of the object that they spray, but it basically wraps around it because of the electrostatic technology that they use. Also keep in mind that this whole thing's going to be with us for probably a year and a half, 2 years to come. So whatever interventions we implement, we must implement them in such a way that we can sustain them for such a long period. So surfaces that must be disinfected are basically common surfaces, door handles, bathroom and toilet areas, keyboards, desk, counters, shop counters. Those type of things should be sanitized. And then, sorry?
Telephones especially.
Yeah, absolutely. Telephones especially. If they, yeah, many people use telephones and yeah, probably one of the telephones. I read an article that many telephones have more germs and bacteria on them than toilet seats.
Yep.
So yeah, you would not expect that. And then the other thing is also the sanitizer must be at the entrance of the store, and also must be, and that's for the customers to use. You will see as we go into the stores, people sanitize your hands, they spray your hands with all kinds of disinfectant. And then also inside the store, there must be sanitizer for the employees. And then the purpose of the masks, is not so much to protect yourself from getting sick. As I understand it, they say the mask is there to, it must cover your nose and mouth, and that is to protect your own droplets when you cough or when you sneeze or when you talk, to infect other people inadvertently. So that is the purpose of a mask, and it must close your, because of the fact that your eyes, your nose and your mouth are the areas where you can get infected. Those are the areas that must be covered also in the workplace. Then you also get this plastic visor mask that covers your eyes, and that's because the virus can enter your body through your eyes as well. And the mouth and nose mask does not cover your eyes. So you can also use that then in conjunction with the visor mask. The employer must provide the mask to employees. So if you are at work, that's the duty or the responsibility of the employer. And then the third pillar, social distancing. There's a few practical things that we can think of when we think of social distancing. The one is the guidelines in the regulations that they say there must be 1.5 meters between people when they queue. So something that you can do is to put like either objects there or markings on the floor or something, so that the people maintain social distancing. I even find myself when I go to the shops that, you know, you're not used to having such a big distance between you and the next person. So I stand you know, I have to remind myself to keep that. So awareness is an important thing. And then also one of the mechanisms or strategies that an employer can use is to have a staggered return, not to have all the employees come back to work at once, but to have them return in groups, or to have them work shifts, or some strategy like that if possible, depending on the nature of the business. And the purpose of that is just to have as few people on the premises as possible. Because also in terms of the regulations, there's a limit on the number of people that that would be allowed on a premises, and that is if you take the floor space of the property and you divide it with 1.5 meters, 1.5, like every 1.5 square meter per person, you will find the number. So if you basically have 300 square meter shop and you divide it with 1.5 meters, you'll see the answer is 200. And that means in that particular shop there shouldn't be more than 200 people, which involves both employees and customers. And that is why you will see at some of the shops where you enter, they give you some kind of a token or a washing peg or something that you must return again when you exit the store. And the purpose of that is basically just to control the number of people inside the venue. I think that's just in brief as far as that's concerned. Then self-awareness, training and notices can help employees. And the interesting thing is right throughout the regulations, and it's still part of it, even in level 3 as of tomorrow, is that there must be a compliance officer in the premises. The job of the compliance officer is basically just to see that the employers and the employees and the customers do comply with the regulations of lockdown. So I think what we can ask ourselves is what can we do to manage the employees when they are at work? Some practical advice, which is not necessarily part of the regulations, is, well, one of the things that's part of the regulations is that you must take their fever every 4 hours, and also just record the fever every 4 hours. Also just ask people how they feel. If we look at the symptoms of COVID, people complain of, it's basically like just flu symptoms. I just want to get the symptoms here.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You have only a few minutes left, if that's okay, because Lydia, Annalise, how are you guys feeling? Are you still good to, because I know neither of you have employees right now, yes?
I'm looking to employ contractual reps.
Okay, so you're still finding this useful. Are you good to continue a little bit?
Yes, I'm fine. I don't know what Lydia is wanting. If it's, I'm okay. I just needed to basically to know about the absconding in case my rep disappears.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or runs off with my stock for a couple of days.
Yes.
I can wrap this section up in 2 minutes.
Okay, sounds good.
Right. The symptoms are basically cough, sore throat, shortness of breath, and loss of smell or taste. And then there's also people, although many people can be asymptomatic, meaning they don't have any symptoms, what can happen is that a portion of the people do have symptoms, which can also mean that they feel tired and that they do develop a fever. And that's why you can take the fever of the employees who are on the premises and record the fever. And just in case you have an investigation by the Department of Labor, you have those records that you can show. Then if you also, those records will also help you to identify people who have a change in fever and, or the change in temperature, or who are starting to feel bad. And then you can take them, basically contact the COVID hotline, and they can go into isolation or quarantine if they are then found to have contracted the virus. Good. That's basically in short what my section is. Good. Anything else? That maybe any questions or so before we move back to Kutso.
Just a quick one. Regarding my product, so do I have to sanitize my bags before I deliver them? So if my coffee is packed, it's in the coffee bag, it's in a box. Do I need to sanitize? Obviously, if it's a one-on-one, I can wipe it down in front of the customer when I deliver to them. Do I need to sanitize? Do I need to wipe those products down?
How do you do? What is the process during which you deliver it?
I deliver. So it's packed. The coffee is packed in a coffee bag. It's then box. So if it's going to an office, there'll be say like 30 bags in a box, and I deliver those boxes. But in the roastery, the premises is sanitized. Everybody wears masks.
Yeah.
All that kind of thing.
You know, I think just try to do. It's not really possible to sanitize a box. You can't do that. So I think if you put the packets inside the box and they work under sanitary conditions inside the factory, which from what you're telling me they're doing, and then the people on the other side who unpack the boxes can just unpack it. To sanitize a box is kind of a futile exercise.
Okay, thanks.
Good.
Okay.
Anything else?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Okay.
Thank you. It's very informative.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you for listening, and if you have anything that you'd like me to send, like the definition of employee or the outlines as to what makes a person an employee, to distinguish between an employee and a contractor, I will send it to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Etienne. That was really informative. Some of us are happy to not have to have employees, right?
Sure.
Yes. Well, so Lydia and Annalise, thank you for indulging us. You know, in part, we're going through all this extra length because we are going to share the video with other people that are not here who indicated interest. So thanks for bearing with us and not just sticking to your specific areas. And I'm glad Annalise had quite a few, well, at least some of her questions answered where legal matters are concerned. I wanted to share with you this earlier. Annalise, you mentioned real advertising. So are you you're talking about this, right, through Ads Manager?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. All right. So what you were referring to with regards to targeting, which boosting I see is attempting to do. And Lydia, if you try to boost and you don't see this, where this detailed targeting, don't boost, because that's going to be a waste of your money. Okay. Yeah, like I said, this morning it never was there before, but this morning when I tried it, I saw that boosting does now have this, except now I don't know where it is. I couldn't find it. Yeah, so don't bother boosting unless you have this, because this allows you to sort, as you see, both by location, by age, by gender, and all sorts of things, everything from, are they parents? Are they married? It's amazing, just about everything you can think of.
Oh gosh, yes.
Behaviors. What are they, did they have an anniversary recently? Are they expats? Do they use their mobiles? I mean, what are their political affiliations? What did they buy recently? It's amazing, just about everything. Those, the pixels I mentioned, the trackers. Mm-hmm. Yes, Facebook has, along with everything else that I don't know, allows Facebook to really collect all these sort of statistics about all of us. Yeah, their education levels, their field of study. It's amazing the level of depth you can get into in terms of targeting your ideal client. Yeah. So that's the bit I wanted to share with you guys. Was that helpful?
Yes, thanks.
Yeah, okay, great. And now I'll just wrap up the presentation and let us all get on with our Sunday. Or however much of it is left, right? There's still a lot of it left, so we're good. It's only noon. Okay. So guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. Why? All right, there we go. So as I said, where I left it off was, be careful when you boost and, use the targeting criteria, yeah, the targeting tools. And if guys, if you do need help with either client acquisition, digital marketing, that's what I do, or any of what Etienne's covered, you guys can feel free to reach us at info@free2prosper.com. That's the website where you can reach both of us. We've also sent you an email. You should have an email right now in your inbox that gives you our respective links. So if you wanted legal advice, you'll be able to click on the link. It'll take you to Etienne's funnel. Now you'll see what a funnel looks like live, right? And you'll be able to, he'll ask you a few questions, and then just to make sure that he knows how to approach you. And then same with my digital marketing services, you'll have a link for that if you want to pick my brains over anything at all. Yeah, because otherwise, we obviously, the two of us run respective practices. Yeah. So we have businesses behind us, but we'll see. Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you for spending part of your Sunday morning with us. Really. Where am I? Yes, this is where I wanted to do the stop share. Anything else, Etienne, Annalise, Lydia?
No,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, thank you guys. And again, you do have a way to reach us. We actually have a way to reach you too, but we won't reach you unless you reach out, because we don't want to spam you. you know what you're doing. So yeah,
I might spam you with questions.
Absolutely. I'm here. And if you've gotten any emails from me, you have my full contact details as well, phone number and everything. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you. And thank you, Etienne, aka Boki. And and thanks, Annalise. Thank you, Lydia.
Thank you, Lydia. Thank you, Annalise.
Have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.